Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us today at today's Lynn Haven Commission meeting. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. First order of business will be the invocation. I've asked our chairman of the CRA Advisory Board, Mr. James, to lead us in the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. James.
Absolute privilege to be able to acknowledge you and praise you in what we do, to live in a country and a community that will acknowledge God and to see in God we trust written on what we do. Father, thank you for the people who are public servants here. I pray that that in the process of the things that we do our business, that you would be considered in all of that. Thank you for their service. Thank you for the time they spent. For the community that's here, for those who are present that is concerned as well with our community, Lord, we pray that you would bless them and that our community could be brought to a higher light in an area where we could also show your grace. Thank you again for the people who are here. Thank you for the meeting. I pray that it would honor you in what we do. In Christ's name, amen.
Okay, thank you, sir. First item on the agenda tonight is not actually on the agenda, but we will need to entertain a motion. I'd like to entertain a motion to excuse the mayor, who I believe is on vacation, and Commissioner Barnes from tonight's meeting. So do I have a motion for that, please?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Do we have any discussion from the board and from the public? Okay, seeing none, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Russell?
Yes.
Commissioner Tender?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Friend?
Yes. Okay, next item is the mayor's report. As Mayor Pro Tem, I'll go ahead and take that slot. I just wanted to report that I did attend the grand opening for the splash pad over at Kensaw Park. What an amazing turnout. It's turned out well. There's some bumps and stuff, but you would expect that was something new. So, but it was an amazing turnout for the grand opening. Also attended the MPOAC meeting as the TPO representative. If anyone ever has any questions about the MPOAC and what we do there, or what I do there on behalf of the TPO, I'm always available to discuss that with you. One of the most important items on that agenda for this last meeting was legislation issues that the MPOAC wanted to put forward to the legislators and or support for this next session. The next thing that I'd like to report is that I did attend the Emerald Coast Fellowship's ribbon cutting for their new sanctuary and fellowship hall. It turned out amazing. It's much larger. They can basically double their capacity. And this is the second one that I've been honored to attend as far as one of our churches in Lynn Haven that's expanding and growing, and they certainly meet a great need in our community. So I was very honored to do that. With that, we also have, under the mayor's report, Mayor Pro Tem tonight, we have a proclamation. So if we will, City Manager would, first of all, do we have anyone here from the Oscar Patterson Elementary School tonight with us? Do we have anybody? This is a proclamation recognizing them. So if you would, City Manager.
Yes, sir. Whereas education is the backbone of our democracy, providing young people with the tools they need to maintain our nation's precious values of freedom, civility, and equality, and whereas by equipping students in Bay County, Florida with both practical skills and broader intellectual abilities, schools give them hope for and access to a productive future, and whereas educators shape the future as they work each day to prepare students to compete globally, and whereas education employees at Oscar Patterson Elementary School be the educators, substitute educators, higher education faculty and staff, custodians, teachers, bus drivers, clerical workers, food service professionals, skilled trades workers, health and student service workers, security guards, technical employees, or librarians work tirelessly to serve our children and our communities with care and professionalism. And whereas Oscar Patterson Elementary is the foundation of nearby neighborhoods, bringing together adults and children, educators and volunteers, business leaders, and elected officials in a common cause. And whereas classrooms throughout Oscar Patterson Elementary are places where students have the opportunity to display creativity and imagination and develop a passion for learning. And whereas teachers at Oscar Patterson Elementary teach important life lessons that will help students succeed beyond classroom time and standardized tests. And whereas Oscar Patterson Elementary School has established and met clearly standards for student performance. Now, therefore, on behalf of Margot Deal Anderson, Mayor of the City of Lynn Haven, Florida, by virtue of authority vested in her, do hereby proclaim August 11, 2018 as Oscar Patterson Elementary School Day in the City of Lynn Haven, and encourage the citizens of Lynn Haven to join with me to recognize and honor the hard work, dedication, and accomplishments that administrators, teachers, and staff have attained by meeting state standards and preparing Oscar Patterson Elementary students for tomorrow's world. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and cause the City of Lynn Haven, Florida, to be affixed this 11th day of August of the year of our Lord, 2018.
Great. Thank you, sir. With that, I'd like to entertain a motion to pass this proclamation.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any discussion from the public? Okay, call the roll.
Commissioner Russell,
Yes.
Commissioner Tender,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Friend.
Yes. Okay, moving on to item 4, Commission report. We'll start with Commissioner Russell.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Friend. I don't have a lot to say tonight, other than we've obviously thank y'all for coming tonight. I think we know why the majority of y'all here tonight. I've received a bunch of phone calls about the senior citizen, and I'll reserve my comments until we get to that section in the agenda. But I'm glad to see y'all here. I mean, you voice your opinions, and that's what citizens and government's supposed to be about. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Tender.
Yes, in the past couple of weeks, I too attended the splash pad grand opening, and as Commissioner Friend said, we've got some things to fix and some bumps here and there. I went out and sat there a couple hours 2 Sundays ago just to see what goes on, and it's normal kid things that go on out there, but I think we can get a handle on it. I was also invited to speak this last Sunday at the First Presbyterian Church in Lynn Haven, and we discussed the things that we've accomplished in the last year, and we also discussed the things that we see in the future. And I was just delighted to be invited, and I enjoyed it a lot. And in the last couple of weeks, I've also dealt with a gentleman on Vermont about his ditch. I've turned that over to the city manager, as well as a situation on Kentucky Avenue, and I think that's being handled today. So that's all I have for my report. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, city manager.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Friend. That's a mouthful, by the way.
Commissioner's fine.
The staff and I have been working diligently getting ready for the budget, getting ready for strategic plan. Of course, we went through strategic planning. Appreciate everybody's attendance in that, and we got great feedback from y'all that we can implement. I hope to be rolling that out about the same time as the budget, so everybody in the city will know this, what the strategic plan of the city is and what we seek to accomplish over the next 1 to 3 years. Also, I want to remind you that the September 12th meeting has been moved. That meeting's going to be on the 12th. Y'all have already voted on it, but it'll be on the 12th. I just want to make sure y'all remember that. And also, the August 28th meeting we'll have over at the Senior Citizen Center. Due to the fact of early voting, this room be converted over to a voting area. As mentioned earlier about the splash pad, it's going well. We contend on having 50, 60 kids at once in it. It seems like at times, but it seems to be a big hit, not only for the city of Lynn Haven, but also surrounding counties and other cities. So I think we hit a home run with it.
Is that it?
That's it.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. All right, city attorney.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem Friend.
Y'all are going to have fun with that now.
The legislature passed, I just want to bring one issue to the commission's attention. The legislature passed a new statute, section 205055, dealing with exemptions for the occupational license tax. It does apply to the city, and we've already gotten some calls since we're starting to collect the tax for next year, requesting an exemption. It will require changes to our code to implement the exemption and the process to get one and the forms needed to do that. And so I will start working on that right away and hopefully have something within the next meeting. But in the meantime, I'm requesting that a stay be put in place on the enforcement and late fees for people that are claiming the exemption for the tax.
Okay, thank you for that report. With that, I'll entertain a motion for that stay.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any discussion from the board? Okay, anything from the public? Okay, if not, call the roll.
Commissioner Russell?
Yes.
Commissioner Tender?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Friend?
Yes. Okay, is that all you
And
have?
that's all I have.
Thanks, sir. All right, with this, we'll move on to item number 7, which is public commentary. I'd like to give the audience an opportunity, just a little housekeeping. This is where you can speak on anything that you would like to speak on as it relates to business in Lynn Haven or whatever you'd like to speak on. Just also keep in mind that as we go through the agenda, if we have something on the agenda that requires action, then we'll ask for a first, a second discussion, and as you can see, we'll always open that up for public comments for that as well. So with that, I'll go ahead and open it up. We'll just call on you one at a time, if you will. Be patient if we have a lot of people that are speaking, and I will tend to let the ladies go first. So with that, we'll open it up to public comments. Ms. Walker.
Janet Walker, 1106 Michigan Avenue.
Yes,
A
ma'am.
month and a half ago approximately, I was up here at the podium and I asked at that time if we had heard anything from Marina Island, specifically the deal that the city had with Marina Island, and the city was going to recoup approximately 50% from the sale of those metal rail.
Tracks.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I was wondering where we stood on that particular project.
Yes, ma'am. I can go ahead and answer that if you'd like. Both city manager and attorney can as well. We have sent them a letter, a demand.
You have sent them a letter?
Yes, ma'am.
So we do know where they are.
We know where we sent the letter. I'll turn that over to I'll turn that over to city attorney.
We sent it to their registered agent's address, which is here locally, and we've emailed it to.
Okay, could I ask what the registered agent's name was that you sent it to?
Andy Bales.
Andy Bales, because I checked Sunbiz for all of the businesses that Mr. Bales was involved in, and all of the agent on record for him, according to Sunbiz, was Barron and Redding from Mackenzie Avenue downtown. And in July, I think it was July 22nd or 28th, Barron and Redding resigned as the agent on record for Mr. Bales and all those subsequent companies he was involved in. So we are taking a step forward and able to get out there and reach Mr. Bales?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm happy about that.
Thank you, ma'am. With that, if you would allow us, the public, if you would allow us to just take a step back. City manager, we forgot a very, very important thing, and that is recognizing our employee of the month. So city manager?
If Leah and Robert could come forward. Robert is one of our directors of facilities maintenance. Miss Leah, she works in that department, and I cannot say enough about Miss Leah. He's going to tell you a lot about Leah, but when we started the splash pad, it's very new to the city, so we don't know how to really operate one, what we needed to do. Leah has some background in the food industry, which is very, very helpful, and she has just rolled up her sleeves and embraced this challenge. She's helping us out a lot, and I really, really appreciate that. And let me give you these, Robert, to give her.
Leah started with us in March of 2017. Leah brought a very diversified work ethic to us. She has 17 years of millwright experience, 8 years in Dairy Queen maintenance. She took care of 3 of them here locally. She also brings positive attitudes to her work responsibilities and her co-workers. Whether it's working on our normal projects, our big construction projects, our cutting our grass throughout Lynn Haven. There's a lot of that going on. Our special events we have, and even working down at the new splash pad as the city manager was just talking about. But Leah, I want to thank you and for all that you do for our department, and I commend you on your positive attitude that you always have every day. And with that, I'm going to give you your plaque. And there's a little something for you in the envelope right there.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you a lot, Leah, for everything you do.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for everything you do for the city. I see you everywhere at every event and at Splash Pad. So thank you very much. Okay, with that no problem at all. With that, we'll step back right into public comments. And again, this is if you'd like to talk on anything. And if you would, please, for the order, if you would just pay attention to the clock, and we try to allow to give you 3 minutes. So if you would, do we have anybody else? Okay, yes, sir.
Thank you, Acting Mayor. Name is Dane Messick. I live at 1400 West 12th Street here in Lynn Haven. I've got 2 issues to bring up real quick, and then I'll sit down. Those 2 issues concern the retainer fees that we pay. A little bit outrageous when you start talking $200,000 a year on retainer fees. Y'all need to explain to me, why are we paying retainer fees to begin with? Next issue, and Pro Temp, it's about you. Sorry, but I've got to bring it up. A few weeks ago, I believe the mayor made a speech about your residents here in Lynn Haven, and I'm an active reader of the newspaper that comes out in Lynn Haven, and you happen to have been in it again. And my question really, Rod, is to you, are you or are you not a resident of Lynn Haven?
I think that's been addressed.
Sorry, before you answer that question, I've already read what it says in the charter of Lynn Haven. It says that you must be an elector or the resident of Lynn Haven. Now you need to tell me, do you or do you not live in the house here in Lynn Haven and not somewhere in Bay County outside of Lynn Haven?
Thanks, sir. I appreciate your question. I think it's been addressed more than once, and I meet the charter requirements, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
You meet the requirements?
Yes, sir.
Well, if I may, being as I've got a minute or so, I'm going to read you something that comes from the appraisers from our Bay County property appraisal. And it's a letter that was addressed to you. And if I may, I'm going to read this letter. It says, in 2013 and again in 2015, Lynn Haven Mayor requested whether Friend meets the charter requirements of living here in Lynn Haven. And then it says on Wednesday, it came to light that Friend is now being questioned by Bay County officials. Bay County Property Appraisal, Dan Sowell, issued a notice to Commissioner Friend on June the 26th. Friend said he sent the documents on day 10, which was a Wednesday. I'll skip that. He said to call to take action. This is the property appraiser himself saying that something needs to be done. I don't know what the question and answer was between you and the property appraiser, but the residents here in Bay County, in the city of Lynn Haven, Rod, I can't trust you. If you left your resident here in Lynn Haven and lived in somewhere outside the city limits, you shouldn't be where you're sitting.
Thank you for your comments. I appreciate it. And the only thing I would add is the property appraiser asked me for supporting documentation to support my homestead at 1804 Sutherland Road. I provided that information, and he conceded that that homestead is okay at 1804, which is inside the Lynn Haven's residence. So thank you for your comments. Anyone else? Anyone else? No? Okay. If not, we'll move on to item number 8. Well, excuse me, the consent agenda, which includes item number 8, item number 9, item number 10. Do we have a motion for the consent agenda?
A motion to have comment or discussion, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I second the discussion.
Wait, do you
For the
second the
purpose
motion?
of
Second is motion.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second, so do we have some discussion?
Yes.
Commissioner?
A little confused. Obviously, anything to support the police department, and if it's a cost of $8,500, I don't have a problem paying it. but the wording says that it's a grant. So are we applying for an application for a grant for somebody else to pay for this, or is this something the city's going to pay for?
It's a JAG grant for us applying for.
Okay.
It's the annual grant that we do.
It's the same grant that we do every year for JAG.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
It's a requirement.
Any other comments?
And I just want to make sure I understand, and that is to purchase the fingerprint identification, okay.
If
And-
awarded. Yeah.
And as Commissioner Russell said, it's 8,500?
8596.
Okay.
Okay, any other discussion from the board? Okay, seeing none, do we have any from the public on this item? Okay, no, all right. City Manager, call the roll.
Commissioner Russell,
Yes.
Mr. Tender,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Friend.
Yes. Okay, we have no old business, so we'll move on to the new business. Just as a housekeeping, this is first reading, no action required for the next few items. So item number 11 is first reading of ordinance 1060. City Manager.
Ordinance number 1060, an ordinance of the City of Lynn Haven, Florida, providing for the vacation and abandonment of the 8th Street right-of-way between Block 146 and 75 of the plat of Lynn Haven, recorded in Plat Book 5, page 11 of the Public Records of Bay County, Florida, which lies within the city limits, repealing all ordinances in conflict and providing for immediately effective date.
Okay, thank you, sir. Number 12, City Attorney.
Yes, sir. I just want to point out to the commission, I did pass out a new legal description for that ordinance, and it has been updated in the public notice and the packet for the next meeting.
Great.
But that's the entire 8th Street right away.
Absolutely.
Mayor,
Great.
if I may?
Thank you, sir.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
I noticed that Mr. Tennell is the applicant, but if the right-of-way is split, it would go to each adjacent property owner, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so it's actually going to benefit both property owners, not just Mr.
That-
Tennell?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, no action required. Moving on to number 12, first reading of ordinance 1061. City Manager.
Ordinance 1061, ordinance of the City of Lynn Haven, Florida, amending Table 2.03.02, Table of Permitted Land Uses of the City Unified Land Development Code, repealing all ordinances in conflict and providing for an immediately effective date.
Okay, no action required. Item 13, first reading of ordinance 1062.
Ordinance number 1062, an ordinance of the City of Lynn Haven, Florida, amending Chapter 86 of the Lynn Haven Code of Ordinances, establishing a multimodal mobility fee to support the established multimodal mobility system enacted in the comprehensive plan, established mobility system fees and discounts for development in the urban cluster and community redevelopment areas, providing for codification, repealing ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, sir. No action required. Number 14, approval to the name the playground at A.L. Kensall, the Ashley Elizabeth Gabrielle Slalina Playground. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion from the board? Any discussion from the public?
Who is she?
Yes, ma'am. City Manager.
Mr. Jim Slanina of Panhandle Engineering, that was his daughter that died in a car wreck several years ago.
Thank you. No, ma'am. It's just the
It's just the playground.
Just the playground.
Playground itself.
Just the playground.
We have a lot of people who call and rent playgrounds, rent pavilions and stuff, and it's easier to name them, to keep up with them, where we'll know which area that they're renting. So this also helps with that. They're not changing the name, ma'am.
Okay. We're going to, okay, thank you, ma'am. So we have a motion and we second. We have any other discussion? Okay, anything else from the public? Okay, with that I'll ask. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Could you please come to the podium so we can get it, just get it on the record and everyone can hear you? Thank you, sir.
The sign on the corner of 17th and Illinois says it won't change. Is that right?
Correct. Yes, sir. It's just there's a playground out there, and there's the new splash pad, so it's just that one playground.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Because I finally got to where I can remember which two parks they are. So.
Yeah.
Thank
absolutely. You. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. Thank you. Okay. Anything else from the public? Okay, seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Russell?
Yes.
Commissioner Tender?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Friend?
Yes. Okay, item 15, approval to name the splash pad at the Ken Griffin, the Leon Miller Splash Pad. With that, I'll entertain a motion, please.
So moved.
Second?
We have a first and a second. Any discussion from the board? Seeing none?
Just that I think this is a fitting thing for Leon.
Absolutely.
You know, as active as he is with the city of Lynn Haven, I think this is a nice tribute to him.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Tender, do you have anything? Did you have anything?
No,
no discussion?
I agree.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
My request is, I'm sorry, I overlooked this, instead of the word pad to coincide with the other one, I'd like for the word pad to be changed to park.
Okay. All right. So I'd have to ask for Commissioner Russell to rescind his motion. Entertain.
Okay. How about if I just amend it?
You can amend it, but we need
Let's
to.
amend the motion to name the splash area Leon Miller Splash Park.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Yes, second.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. Any other public? I know Mr. Miller is hiding in the back, but we're honored to have you
Hey, how about
tonight.
that?
Thank you very much. Having no additional comments or from the public, then I'd ask the city manager to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Russell?
Yes.
Commissioner Tender?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Friend?
Yes. Okay, moving on to item 16, approval of the name of playground. Again, the playground at Sheffield Park is, we're asking the Mary Suzanne Adams Playground. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion from the board?
I think I'd like to say something.
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's very appropriate, since it's right across the street from the family business, that it be named after their daughter.
Absolutely. Thank you. Any other discussion from the board? Seeing none, do we have any discussion from the public? Okay, seeing none, could you please call the roll?
Commissioner Russell?
Yes.
Commissioner Tender?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Friend?
Yes. Moving on to item 17, approval to cancel the city's concession contract with Coastal Paracel, Inc., and allow the city to operate its sole concessions. City manager?
Yes, Commissioner Pro Tem. Mayor, I guess, Friend. The city has started operating the concession stand out at the Splash Park, the James D. Finch Splash Park on Kensaw. And we've had several issues with the concession area that we have. Staff has really looked at it, and we would like the opportunity to possibly take this over. That way we can make sure that we keep prices low for all the citizens of Lynn Haven, and also develop a better product and be able to watch our facilities better as we have an employee on site.
Okay, thank you for that report. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Can we discuss this, or?
Only after a second.
Second.
Okay, with that, I'll open it up for discussion. Commissioner Tender.
Yeah, I was just wanting to know, how long have we had this contract with the Coastal Paracel Inc., and what have they done for us up to this point?
A lot of untruths.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, you want examples?
Well, no, I mean, I don't know who they are. What concession stands are they running now?
Well, that's the concession stands we're running currently is the one at the sports park is the largest.
Okay.
When we have a lot of special events like the concerts in the park, they've helped us. 4th of July. I'll just take 4th of July for instance. The gentleman that's over the contract explained to myself and the staff numerous times that he would be here for the 4th because it was such a big event. Mm-hmm. He promised us he'd have multiple lines. The night of the event, we called him. He said he was on his way. He never did show up. He only had 2 lines. Lines was 30 to 45 minutes long. He was charging people $11 for a sandwich. So, I think in the best interest of our people, I think we could take care of the citizens of Lynn Haven a lot better than that.
Mm-hmm. So the city is going to take over the concessions at the sports park as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Mayor Pro Tem, if I may.
Yes, sir.
I think this is a great idea, and I'm looking forward to the city doing it with one point of direction that I'd like to remind the city manager and his staff. that it's a quality of life issue. I don't want us to run this concession to make money. I mean, we need to be there servicing the citizens. And of course, I guess break even, but, give them a nice product at a decent price.
Thank you, sir.
Could I say
Commissioner Tender.
something too?
Yes, ma'am.
I've had a lot of comments about the food at the Splash Park, and people are thrilled with the prices and thrilled with the product.
Great. Thank
So
you for that.
That's a good thing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for that. Okay, any more discussion from the board? We're open up to the public. Anyone in the public would like to address this item? Okay, seeing none, City Manager, please call the roll.
Commissioner Russell,
Yes.
Commissioner Tender,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Friend.
Yes. Okay, item 18, approval to extend the current contract to this, with the Council on Aging for the Senior Center. City Manager?
Our current contract with the Council on Aging, I spoke to Ms. Beth Collette, I think last week, about it. It is up this month in August. I have not had the opportunity to go through the contract like I would like to, so I first mentioned to her, let's do it month by month, and until I can get a contract signed. She said she needed a date, so I gave her a date of September 30th because that's the end of our fiscal year. Just like any program that we have at the city, by no means, let me repeat this, by no means do I want to get rid of the Senior Citizen Center. If anything I want to do is I want to make it a lot better. I think you will, the people in the audience can look at a lot of things I've touched. I think they're a lot better than they were. Look at Sheffield Park and other areas. My intent is to bring the quality of life and hopefully make sure y'all have a product that is equal to our rec programs and the splash parks and things for younger people. By saying that is the Council on Aging is not out. I mean, I'm still reviewing their contract, but I have also took staff when we went to Panama City Beach, looked at their facilities, looked at what they do compared to what we do here. So I still need some time for that before I come back with a recommendation. But we do need to extend the contract because I do want to keep it going until I make a recommendation to y'all what the city should do for the future.
Okay, thank you so much for that report. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion from the board?
I would like to say something if I could. I'm glad that City Manager has clarified what they're talking about, and I don't think this board would do anything to get rid of the Senior Center. I mean, it's fantastic, and I think it houses a lot of people that go there every day. And I've been over there a number of times, and I don't think you'll see us do anything to destroy that or to get rid of it. And so until they get the contract signed, we're all good.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anything else? Commissioner Russell?
Mayor Pro Tem.
If you would, please. Thank you. If you would, please. Thank you. Thank you. If you would, please. Thank you, Commissioner Russell.
Thank you, Mayor. And as I mentioned in my report earlier, I've received several emails and phone calls from several residents of Lynn Haven, and I guess the problem we have is that we didn't disseminate the information well enough. It was never, and I've had several meetings with the city manager. It's never been his intention to do away with the senior center. He wants to improve it and make it better and give y'all better food, better services, whatever he can do to make it better for y'all. And I think that's the intent of the entire commission. So,
thank you, Commissioner Russell. Okay, I would just add I've met with the city manager more than once on this particular issue, and I can tell you that his intent is 100%, and my intent would be 100% to enhance and do nothing to jeopardize the relationship that we have over there. With that, any other discussion from the board?
Thank y'all for coming.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, if we ever needed people to back up anything, we're going to call the Senior Center.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Okay, with that, I'd still thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just for the order of the business, if we'd hold our applause, thank you. But I will open it up to the public, so if you have something that you'd like to speak on this item, yes, ma'am, please come forward. If you would, please come to the podium. If you can't make it to the podium, we can certainly bring sorry, we would only say that tonight, right? But we would bring a mic out to you. I see some walkers in the audience, but thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If you would just state your name for the record,
Yes,
please.
my name is Susan Hines, and
Yes,
I live at 505 Missouri in Lynn Haven. When I read this saying just to extend the current contract for a month, and I thought of month by month kind of a thing, and I thought, for us folkies, you know, we need something that's going to be a sure thing kind of for us. I live about a mile away from here, and I walk many times to the senior center and home. And, you know, the grocery outlet's right there. And I mean, but everything that we do, we give back to this community. Even individuals who may not technically live within the boundaries of Lynn Haven, they come to all the businesses down this strip because they've come to the senior center, which they would not normally have done. They might not have come out of their way for this, but because of that, I just was very concerned. And even though I understand you're saying you need this time to develop this up for a month, but it's still, I don't see where it says, yes, we're going to give you another 5 year, or we're going to do whatever for the, I mean, I hear the plaudits from you, and it's like, yay, but that doesn't reassure me particularly.
Okay, yes, ma'am. City Manager?
Yes, ma'am. Part of the issue is you got to think our fiscal year starts October 1st, and our contract ends at the end of this month with Bay Council Agent. Right. So I cannot extend anything else further past that than this commission has granted me the money to do.
Okay.
So that's the only reason.
Okay.
It's not we're going to do away. It's anything like that. I truly, and I promise you, you know, some of the things, I hope you like the look and feel of the buildings around here. My intent is to do this next fiscal year to do that to that building. It's going to look a lot like these.
Okay.
And get a facelift inside and out.
Oh, nice. Okay, and that was my other concern, was the thought, yes, you may still have a senior center available, but maybe it's not going to be that place, because I know sometimes you all come over and use that other part of the building, and sometimes the whole building. And my concern was that you wouldn't move it somewhere where I couldn't get to it if I'm walking. And that's a quality of life for me.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you. Okay, if we, just for the, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but just for the order of the business, if we could just hold our applause. Yes, ma'am.
My name's Elizabeth Hendricks. I live at 3407 Cherry Ridge Road in Lynn Haven. My concern is when you're talking about the improvements that you're going to better food, better et cetera, economically, how is that going to affect the seniors? Are we going to have to pay more to go? Because right now, the majority of the seniors that go there can barely afford what we are paying. And it's a donation basis. Can we continue doing that with the upgrades that you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am. To kind of give you an idea, and I don't know if y'all are aware of what the city does. The facility belongs to the city. The city pays for all the utilities, upkeep, those kind of things. And then we give $75,000 a year to the Bay Council Aging to help run the facility, which they do a great job. You know, it's a contract just like any other contract we have, like we spoke about earlier about the concession stand contract. Need a lot of work. This may need a little bit more work. It may be something that stays with them. It may be something that, hey, we may take over. And my intent has always, there's two things. The elderly and the kids are close to me. And, you know, I want to treat both with respect. So I want to make sure that you have a place that you love and you love to come and utilize day in, day out.
So we will continue on the donation basis.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking at adding any cost or burden to anyone. Okay. I'm looking, if we take it in-house, I'm looking for some public and private partners that will partner with us and bring more to the plate if we take it over.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you very much. Yes, ma'am. Can you make it, can we bring, excuse me, ma'am, can we just bring you a microphone, please? Would that be okay?
Test.
We just want to make sure to get your thoughts on the record here. Thank you, ma'am. And just state your name,
I'm
please.
listening to this here, and I think what I'm hearing is that the city of Lynn Haven would like to run the senior center. Am I correct?
Her question is, from what she's understanding, the city of Lynn Haven would like to run this center. City manager.
I cannot answer that question until I review the contract more and see exactly all the things you do each and every day. But I think for what we pay, I think that, you know, if we had to look at increasing the budget, I'll be more than glad to come to bat for the seniors here with this board. And I just want to make sure that y'all getting your fulfillment each and every day.
Well, we all appreciate that very much. But the major thing, I think, what most senior citizens would like, that this senior center will stay in existence, and they will come, but the management might be run by some different people. This is what I'm understanding.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much for your comments. And we'll certainly take those into consideration when he's evaluating everything. Thank you, ma'am. Who else? Do we have someone else? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. My name is Sue Truman, and I'm one of those people, my husband and I actually, are some of the people that Ms. Hines referred to that come from out of area because there is nothing in our area. We live in Callaway Heights. Callaway has very nicely started a half-day program on Wednesday mornings. That is not enough for us, and it does not include our favorite thing to do, which is to play bridge. So we come here. Also, we do shop at some of the local shops, as Ms. Hines alluded to. So we are benefiting the city of Lynn Haven by doing that. There are people that are not here, and we number more than 30 that are here, to my count. One gentleman is 92 years old, World War II veteran, and rides the bus there. If you move the location, he may or may not have bus service. Another lady that we play bridge with is 94, soon to be 95 in November, and she is having some aging issues with memory. If she can't come and play bridge, which she does very well, then maybe her memory issues will proceed more rapidly. Not to say that there's not any other venues, there are. And the other thing that I would ask of the city is, if you are going to consider taking over the management of this program, I would like you very much to put somebody in charge, like Ms. Couliette, who has decades of experience. Okay, and I'll tell you that Ms. Couliette and I have not always seen eye to eye. However, she does a bang-up job. Overall, she does a great job. So if you're going to take this over, trust me, I would like her or somebody of her equal to take it over. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Very well said, and thank you so much for all your input. Any other ladies? I'm going to let ladies go first. Okay, yes, sir.
I'm Ed Delazan, and my address is 4329 Vista Lane. That's Lynn Haven in North Shore. I'm also president of the board of directors of the Bay County Council on Aging, and I'm here today because I'm concerned about what's happening. You know, we didn't come here to protest or to object or anything else. We want information. And we've heard some rumors and some scuttlebutt, perhaps speculation, that maybe the goal would be to turn our senior center here into kind of a club model similar to what they're doing out at the beach. Bay County Council on Aging does not have any direct involvement with that program. That's through the city, I guess, or some other entity. And I'm just wondering, you know, what's what's envisioned as a possible plan. A month isn't a very long time to plan something like this. You know, we've been doing this now for 12 years, and it's been an evolution over time on how this center has changed and grown and improved. And I'm just wondering, you know, if the council has given any thought to what happens next.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Very valid points, and thank you for serving on that board. We appreciate it. I'll let the city manager share some of his thoughts, if you will.
Happy. Incidentally, we have a 12-member board, and 7 of the 12 members are residents of Lynn Haven, as is our Chief Executive Officer, Beth Collette.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, sir. City manager.
Great. Thank you for your comments, sir. By no means did I say I wanted to model the facility just like the Panama City Beach. I said I went out there to look at it and review what they do. Of course, they have 2 different kinds. They have one that is run by a foundation. Then they also have another facility that's run by the Parks and Rec Department, in which I think the Bay Council agent delivers food to them, much like we have spoken to Miss Beth about as well. By no means is Bay Council aging out of the picture. I will reiterate, never in my wildest dreams will I move the Senior Citizen Center. So please do not never think that. As far as quality, you know, I see a bright future over there. I think there's a lot more could happen. If that means a partnership between Bay Council Aging and us needs to be stronger, and us backfill where I think that they may not have the resources to do. Our staff has come up with several different ideas, but you know, the biggest ideas would come from you. I don't want to force anything down each of you's throat or make you do something you don't want to do. I'd much rather have activities that you see as value added to your life each and every day, and that's where a lot of the feedback would come from. It would be coming from you. What do you like about today? What do you really don't like? You know, playing cards. A lot of people like playing cards. Would you like to have us fix an area out there? You know, bring in some woodworking opportunities, different things that may give you an opportunity to learn something you haven't learned. So I'm open, and right now it's just in the phase of just finding out different things. So with that.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Do we have any other comments? Yeah. Sorry, Bob. I'm going to let the lady go first, and then you're next. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Bob.
I'm Beth Collette. I live at 1100 East 26th Street, Lynn Haven. I just want to say a little bit about the Bay County Council on Aging and the Lynn Haven Senior Center. We were thrilled 12 years ago when the mayor and the city manager and the commissioners asked us to run a senior center in Lynn Haven. We were thrilled when they let us design the building, move into it, renovate it, and start a program. The program started with about a dozen people, seniors. Last month, we served, on our best day last month, we served 80 meals that cost Lynn Haven nothing. We have about 21 different programs, activities, and things for the seniors to do during any week. Our daily attendance is about 153 to attend the senior center. From that center, we operate other services. We're a service organization. We're not there to make money. The budget that we were given, that we were offered back 12 years ago, is exactly the same budget we operate with today. We've not ever asked for an increase, and we're not asking for one now. I was rather shocked when I got a call a week ago and said that the city was interested in taking over the program. I knew that the contract was up, and we had been given 3-year extensions by the previous city managers and mayors. And I was surprised that we were asked for a month-to-month extension. I did say I would like a timeline because we have a couple of staff members that would be adversely affected if we don't get the contract. And my concern is getting their positions filled back at the senior center. And we have about 300 or 400 seniors that I'm very concerned about, as I know you are, because they're active and they love what they do and they love coming to the senior center, and they're over there having fun, having plays, playing charades, playing bingo, and playing bridge. They do Tai Chi, they do aerobics, chair aerobics. They do so many things. And in addition to that, the Council on Aging offers other services that we offer for the county through the Lynn Haven Senior Center for the citizens of Lynn Haven. We do weatherization, where we help with paying power bills. We do a home improvement for weatherization to make homes tighter and more energy efficient. We do in-home services when someone falls and breaks a leg and they go to the hospital and they can't be independent for a short while. We'll go in and help them with bathing and help clean their house and serve them home-delivered meals. We deliver about 500 meals a day. Most of those home-delivered meals, all delivered with volunteers who receive no reimbursement whatsoever. We take no waiting list for those home-delivered meals or for congregate meals. If we have more people that need meals, and we do every year, then we have budget for meals through our grants. Our board that you see in the back is committed to finding donors to help pay for those meals.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a good reputation. I'm concerned that we won't have a contract with Lynn Haven. It was a very big concern of mine when I first heard about it. But if Lynn Haven wants to run the senior center, I'm a citizen of Lynn Haven. I'll be the first one to say go for it. But we will continue our services and our delivery of meals through the Older Americans Act in a location that we'll have to find and provide. I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity. It's been a wonderful 12 years. We've grown tremendously, and we hope that we can continue to help each other out serving seniors.
Thank you, ma'am. That's such valuable information. Thank you so much for coming and sharing that. Okay, with that, sir, we have somebody else. And thank you again. That's very valuable information for us. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Bob Schultz. I live at 509 Pennsylvania Avenue. I don't think I could have said it much better than Mrs. Collette did. There are some things, though, you need to look at. We have a lot of veterans use it. I'm serious. And this gentleman, Mr. Jim, we call him, he's 92 years old. He's got it all upstairs. He cannot drive. He rides his trolley here. If we get a new location, I don't know. There's no saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And I think that's the way most of us feel. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Okay. We like it. You fixed our parking for us. We have more than enough, very adequate. The room is good. We could use the extra end of it. And maybe if you could find it in our budget to pave the parking lot, that would help a lot too. But don't move us from a place that we love and we want. If it's not broken, don't fix it. That's it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Please. Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? I want to make sure that we don't miss the opportunity. Did you have something else? Well, I mean, it's a very important issue, but let's come to I'm sorry, just so we can get it on the record. It's so important. If you're going to take the time to share your thoughts, we certainly want to make sure we get them.
Well, it's not just my thoughts. I'm not sure how the gentlemen feel, but the women would really like to have hot water in the bathroom. And we have hot water in the kitchen because you have to in order to wash your dishes and do all that kind of stuff. But we just have nice ice cold water. And when you're trying to clean yourself, I mean, anyway, it's just...
Yes, ma'am. We understand. Thank you. And I saw...
It's an issue.
Yes, ma'am. And I saw the city manager making a note of that. So thank you so much for sharing that. This is the time. This is the time. Is there anyone else? If not, I'd really like to take this opportunity to say that what a wonderful day in America that it is, and what a wonderful, beautiful day it is in Lynn Haven, that we can congregate here together and have you all come and share your opinions with your elected officials. I want to take the opportunity to thank the veterans that are in the room, those that have served, that have went on before us and have served. This is what they fought for. This is what they died for. And I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. So thank you all so very much for coming tonight. And if you'd like to applaud now, you can. Okay, with that, the meeting is almost adjourned. We have one more comment, and we still have to pass this. Thank you. And we haven't.
With all the comments that's here, would it be permissible to allow Simply Seafood to provide a water heater for the senior citizen center and pay for the plumber to put it in?
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. City manager will get with you. Okay, with that, I almost forgot. I'm sorry, I got caught up in the moment of our citizenship in America. But we do have a motion. We have a second to approve the contract through September the 30th. No other discussion from the board, no other discussion from the public. Then I'd ask the city manager to call the roll.
Commissioner Russell, Commissioner Tender.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Friend.
Yes, sir. Sorry. Okay. With that, any other order, anything else for the order of the business? If not, meeting adjourned. Thank you all again so much for coming.